In 2008, fishermen working in the Penghu Channel off the western coast of Taiwan dredged up an extraordinary fossil from the seabed, a nearly complete lower jawbone. The specimen sat in a drawer at a curiosity shop in Taipei for nearly a decade. Science.org, an amateur fossil hunter, Kun Yu-tsu, was shopping for antiques. He recognized the mysterious jawbone as human, but he noticed it was distinct from modern mandibles. Kun Yu-tsu donated the jawbone to the Natural History Museum. Scientists were stunned by its robust features and ancient origins. After years of meticulous research and analysis, the fossil has been identified as belonging to a Denisovan, an enigmatic hominid species that once roamed Eastern Asia during the Pleistocene epoch. Discovery in Siberia. Привет, как вы поживаете? Я понимаю только немного по-русски. Вы понимаете? Спасибо большое. In 2008, interns from the Universitat de Novosibirsk uncovered a small finger bone in southern Siberian cave sediments, which they presented to their team leader. ScienceNews.org 2019. Russian scientists unearthed the newly identified finger fossil in Denisovan cave. Continuing, they then cut the specimen into two and sent the pieces to separate DNA research teams. A substantial portion of the pinky bone was dispatched to a laboratory in Paris, where it remained overlooked in a drawer for almost 2 years. Subsequently, Benz Viola, an evolutionary science professor from Canada, succeeded in locating it. The top half was sent to Svante Pääbo's lab at the Max Planck Institute in Leipzig. In the late hours of one evening, Pääbo's team stumbled upon an astonishing finding. The specimen's genome was not Homo sapien or Neanderthal. A year later, the Russians threw a party in Moscow, inviting Pääbo and David Reich along with some fancy Russian dignitaries. At the gathering, they agreed to name the species Denisovans. They toasted to the discovery over rounds of vodka. Please see our prior video on the Russian pinky bone mystery. In 2011, a press conference took place in Leipzig to unveil the discovery. The subsequent publication featured Pääbo, Krauss, Reich, and Denisovan, and was released shortly thereafter. Confirmation: Penghu specimen is from a Denisovan. For years after, all the scientists had to go on was the pinky bone, one tooth, some cranium fragments, and a mandible from Tibet. Penghu 1 could be Denisovan, but mainland Chinese scientists argued strenuously that it was Homo erectus. Denisovans 2025. Denisovan mandible from Pleistocene Taiwan. Paper, Tustaya et al. We used ancient proteomic analysis on previously unidentified hominin mandible from Taiwan. This identification confirms previous genomic predictions of the group's widespread occurrence, including in warmer climates. Continuing, the robust nature of this mandible is similar to that seen in a Denisovan 1 from Tibet, suggesting that this is a consistent trait for the lineage. Spatial. Initially, when Denisovans were first identified, scientists were puzzled as to their territorial range. They only had a handful of bones and teeth from Siberia to go on. The Penghu jawbone provides critical insight into the spatial distribution of Denisovans, offering researchers a clearer understanding of their geographic range. Natural History Museum.uk, April 2025. The fossil expands their known range by thousands of kilometers and provides new insights into how this species looked. However, an unanticipated development emerged. Researchers started to uncover substantial genetic evidence indicating the presence of Denisovan ancestry within the populations of Papuans and Melanesians. Scientists now understand that the spatial range for Denisovans is far wider than they could have ever anticipated. From the Altai Mountains in Siberia to the distant reaches of Polynesia and the Pacific Islands. Stay tuned for our upcoming video on Denisovan DNA and Polynesians. Temporal. The fossil records currently indicate Denisovans go back to 287,000 years ago. According to science.org, they lived from roughly 400,000 years ago to 30,000 years ago. But they could be as old as 400,000 to 500,000 years ago after diverging with their more robust Neanderthal cousins. The prevailing view has been that the last living Denisovan vanished between 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. Penghu fossil clarifies the temporal. Exciting developments have recently emerged. The field of proteomics has refined the dating of Denisovans. New insights have been gained from the Penghu specimen. The study of hominids through proteomics involves examining proteins found in fossils, which reveals genetic and evolutionary insights into ancient species. By examining protein structures and sequences, researchers can determine relationships between hominids, estimate timelines, and reconstruct aspects of their biology and environment. The revised dating for Penghu 1 spans a wide range, with an upper limit of 170,000 years, but it also includes a stunningly recent lower limit of just 10,000 years ago. Discover wildscience.com. The mandible known as Penghu 1 was recovered from the seabed of the Penghu Channel near Taiwan. Continuing, initially classified as an unknown Homo species, recent paleoproteomic analysis confirmed its Denisovan origin dating back to the Pleistocene epoch between 10,000 and 7,000 years ago. Smithsonian, April 2025. They've tried numerous ways to come up with a date range for the fossil, including radiocarbon and uranium series dating. Continuing, because of the bone's condition, they have only been able to narrow down the timeline to two wide potential periods, either between 10,000 to 70,000 years ago or 130,000 to 190,000 years ago. The researchers utilized sea level modeling and climate change measurements to refine the dating of the Denisovan specimen. Denisovans, ancient legends or living beings. While skeptics dismiss reports of archaic hominids and cryptozoological sightings across Southeast Asia and Melanesia, the Penghu 1 fossil, potentially dated to 10,000 years ago, offers intriguing support to these claims. In an instant, the tales and folklore surrounding the Ebu Gogo, Orang Pendek, and other enigmatic hominids inhabiting the jungles of Southeast Asia and Indonesia appear significantly more plausible. The breakthrough in Denisovan dating is a remarkable triumph for those passionate about alt anthropology and cryptozoology. Examples of sightings in recent decades include the Orang Pendek in Malaysia, accounts of small archaic humans on islands in Indonesia, and the well-documented motocross sighting of a crypto-hominid on Sumatra. Major crypto-hominid sightings. London Daily Express 2019. Shocking footage. Mythical ape man caught on camera sprinting from biker. Natural History Museum, London. Denisovans have been found across large parts of Asia. They're responsible for as much as 5% of the DNA of indigenous inhabitants of Australia, New Guinea, and the Philippines today. The Monkey People. In our prior videos on this channel, we have thoroughly explored the evidence of living ape men in South Asia and Melanesia. Some of these hominids are likely Homo floresiensis, while others could be surviving Denisovans. Villagers on the island of Flores. Live Science 2022. Gregory Ford, an anthropologist from the University of Alberta, argues that the reports of an ancient ape man on Flores in Indonesia could be sightings of the ancient human ancestor still kicking today. There is the well-documented instance of an Indonesian Catholic priest, Father J, who lived till 1995. He was described by fellow priests as being short stature with a prognathous face. As we have noted in previous videos, local municipal governments in Indonesia listed some populations as quote-unquote monkey people in the census. The Atamagbukan of the northern Luzon province of the Philippines measure up to 7.8% Denisovan DNA admixture. ScienceNews.org 2021. Genetic evidence now shows that a Philippine Negrito ethnic group has the most Denisovan ancestry. Homo sapien groups arrived around 50,000 years ago or more, then interbred with resident Denisovans. Continuing, quote, still today, there are populations that have not been fully genetically described, and that Denisovans were geographically widespread, end quote, says paleogeneticist Tassimo Post of the University of Tübingen in Germany. The Atamagbukan have the highest Denisovan DNA, but as Professor Tassimo Post suggests, the Eta Umbala and Umbelan tribes remain untested. They live in even greater isolation. Are their Denisovan DNA levels even higher? Crypto-hominids live among us. The identification of the Penghu 1 fossil as a Denisovan, potentially dated to 10,000 years ago, not only enriches our understanding of the past, but it also inspires a future where the story of human evolution continues to unfold in unexpected and awe-inspiring ways. For the past 2 years, a single YouTube channel has unwaveringly and candidly explored the realms of hominid cryptozoology and alternative anthropology. Penghu 1 is a vindication for alt anthropologists and cryptozoologists who have argued for years that archaic hominids still live among us. And a triumph for devoted alt anthropology fans tuning into this channel. Thank you for your continued support.